welcome back to the Fathom moment here on Fathom the Idea, Fathom the Reality. With Kathy Akers here to talk about real estate in Rocky Mount. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Clint. How are you today?
Doing well. Still dealing with the realization it's the last Monday in January.
Yeah, that's surprising.
I mean,
wow. 2019
is already 1/12 almost over.
Yes, it is. You know, as we get older, it seems to go faster.
It does, and way too fast. My daughter's birthday was over the weekend, and it's like, I know, she can't be.
Yeah, well, if she is, then guess what that
means I'm older too.
That's right.
Well, Kathy, you know, last time you were here, we talked about you know, the end of 2018 and where the numbers were and how we compared 2018 to 17 and 16, and we saw, you know, the rise in prices and the shorter time on market for some houses.
Right.
So you've done some research and you've talked about, you know, bringing back some information. We're going to talk about what's going to be available coming online in the next few months here in Rocky Mount, because there's a lot of economic promise in the future.
That's right.
There's a lot of expectation. There's going to be a lot of new folks moving to Rocky Mount and living here.
That's right.
So where are they going to go?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So I've pulled some numbers, and we're going to talk about what's available as far as new construction. Okay. You know, we always know that there's some resale out there, and that's the majority of the homes that we see on the market right now. But pulling Nash and Edgecombe, there are 65 active new construction listings on the MLS. That doesn't mean that there's not something being built out
but
there.
It hasn't been submitted yet.
But it hasn't been submitted yet.
Okay.
So to kind of, because you asked me this question off air, are we seeing any in Edgecombe County?
Right.
We have one new construction listing in Edgecombe County. It's in the Flag Marsh Hills subdivision, which is off of 64 Business East.
Right.
And it's just one unit. And sorry, that unit is starting in the 120s. Okay. So that gives you an idea.
All right. I'm wireless, so I'm going to go pick that up for you.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's one of those mornings.
Analog difficulties, as it would be in this case.
That's right.
So there's one unit or one division?
Just one unit in
one new build in all of Edgecombe County?
Yes.
Hold on.
Now, I'm sure there could be some private builds, and there might be something out there that's just not registered in our MLS.
But overall, there's one house.
That's right.
In all of Edgecombe County, that's a new build that's come on the MLS.
That's right.
One?
One. So
all the rest that we're going to be talking about,
it's going to be in Nash County. So
of the 65 houses that are coming online, 64 of them are in Nash County.
Right.
Okay, where's Triangle Tire going?
That's right, Edgecombe County.
Where's Corning going?
That's right. So
but all the housing's in Nash.
So that's something that, you know, maybe our builders need to think about. You know, is there, and I'm sure there's available land out there. It's a matter of, you know, are they looking at doing that? But, you know, one of the things that we seem to hear about is the, you know, in Edgecombe County, the taxes are higher and that kind of thing. So those are some of the things, you know.
And we talked about the average price in Edgecombe County is, you know, it's what, I think 70,000, which is 72,000, I think is what
it was a little more than that at the end of last year.
But it's under 100.
But it's under 100.
Right.
So there are houses in Edgecombe County that are selling for, well above that, you know, and that kind of thing. But that is one of those areas that we really need to concentrate on.
And that's the reason I bring it up. It's not to throw darts at Edgecombe. It's to say Edgecombe is part of our community. We want it to be just as strong as Nash County.
That's right.
And if it doesn't get strong and Nash County gets stronger, it kind of gets left behind.
That's right. Things get off balance. Yeah. So let's talk about what's actively listed in Nash County.
All right.
We're going to start with Fairfield Village. They have.
And where is that located?
This is off of Sunset. You know where, and I'm trying to think of where complexes, the business complexes that has the fountain in the retention pond, going out towards Halifax Road.
So if you go past Candlewood and you head towards Candlemore, it's on the left.
Yes.
As you're heading towards Nashville.
That's right.
So Fairfield Village, which as a community has been around a while.
Right.
You just got some expansion going on.
Right. This is actually a village within Fairfield. So when you go turn, I believe it's Mayfair, turn on Mayfair, you're going to go down a little ways and you're going to turn into Fairfield Village. These are, for the most part, are duplexes.
Okay.
They're brick built, and I know that they have 3 listed in the MLS.
Okay.
However, I do know the last time I drove through there were quite a few more under construction.
So there'll be more coming online.
There should be more coming online as those get a little progressive along, that they can start having people go through them.
So that's one area of expansion that we know of.
That's one.
Okay.
So
and that's 3 houses currently. There'll be more coming on.
There should be more coming.
What is the average price for the houses being listed?
They start at the 150s.
For the condos, for the duplexes.
And some have garages, some do not.
Okay.
Some are 2 bedrooms, some are 3 bedrooms.
That's a fairly aggressive price for a duplex.
Right. So for the 150, I'm thinking you're going to get a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, no garage.
Right.
Okay. And then it'll add on going up from there. Let's move up to Belmont Lake.
Okay.
Everybody knows where Belmont Lake Preserve is. There are some custom builts going on out there, and so those, of course, do not come on the MLS.
Right.
But they have D.R. Horton out there building some spec housing. They've got about 20 plus units listed in the MLS.
Okay.
They're starting in the 180s and going up. So
now for Belmont, that's actually kind of a step down compared to some of the other houses around there. Is this neighborhood in Belmont, or is it kind of adjacent
to? You're going to turn in, and you're actually going to turn in at the main entrance where the clubhouse and the golf course is at.
Okay.
And you're going to stay straight back into this area.
So this is that new area that was rezoned last year and approved for new development?
Right.
And so these houses are a little bit smaller than what you see on the front end of Belmont?
Actually, that's what we always call the front end, is actually the back end.
Right.
So
there's 2 entrances to Belmont, for those who know. We're talking about the 301 entrance.
Right, we're talking about off of 301. They have about 20 plus units listed out there, starting in the 180s, and I do know they go up to, I saw one in the 230s, so you're going to get some different sizes, some single story, some 2-story, so they've got a few different floor plans to look at.
Now the 180s, and I know this is starting price, but we talked about this last week, that's at the top end of the attractive range.
That's right.
So they probably will have decent demand for these houses.
That's right. So then let's move over to Autumn Ridge, which is off of Hunter Hill.
Right.
This was one of those neighborhoods that got hit, like Belmont, during the recession, and had been started and kind of stopped. WHIG Journey is out of Goldsboro.
Yep.
They've come in, and they are actually finishing out the lots out there before. Now they haven't started the second phase, but everything that was already mapped out, platted out, they've got about 16 units out there, and they start as low as about 117.
Wow, that's attractive for some first-timers and that kind of stuff.
Up to about 125 to 130, somewhere in there.
So I'm guessing these are around 12 to 1,600 square feet.
Yes, you're getting in that range. There are some that do have garages, some that are 2-story. So you again have different ones to different floor plans to take a look from.
But Autumn Ridge is a pretty attractive neighborhood in and of itself. It's located. It feels like you're in the country, but you're not.
That's right.
So
you're close enough into everything, but you're separate enough that you don't feel like you're right in the middle of you're right in the middle of town.
And again, it's starting at 117. That's a pretty attractive price range.
That's right. Now the WHIG Journey also has finished out Kenshin Acres, which is down off of 97.
Right, off of Raleigh Road.
Raleigh Road. Okay. Right now they have 2 listings in the MLS. And those have been going fairly well from what I understand.
Are those slab houses?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
As is the Autumn Ridge, and I believe the ones that D.R. Court and are doing out in Belmont.
Right.
These are all slab-based.
Okay.
So in looking at that, you know, you've got those starting in the 80,000. So
again, that's a very attractive price, especially in Ashe County.
That's right. So you know, that's an option for those that are looking for something a little more economically affordable. Carriage Pond.
Well, that's where I was at a few weeks ago and saw a bunch of houses coming online.
Right. Right now they have about 6 listed in the MLS.
But there's easily another 20 that they're building out
That's
there.
right.
Every cul-de-sac's got 4 or 5 on there.
That's right. But they have to get they're going to get it a certain completion before they add it. Right. They list it. Those are starting in the 170s.
Again, at the higher end of attractive, but in that neighborhood, these houses are technically a little bit of a higher class than some of the other ones in West Trees and that kind of stuff.
That's right. So the Carriage Pond was always meant to be a little more higher end than the ones at the, not that there's anything wrong with the one, you know, because those are great starter homes at the front. And so this is like that next step up if you're moving up.
And again, we're probably looking at what, 16 to 2,100 square feet in that range?
Somewhere in there. Yeah. So, and like I said, they start in the 170s.
So this is a lot of attractive housing. The things we've been talking about the last 4 years that we haven't had in our inventory. That's right. We're starting to see a lot of good new inventory coming online.
Red Oak Hills, that's always a nice neighborhood.
The nice is an understatement.
Well,
let's be honest.
So there is J&W Development has 2 listings out there. They're starting in the 320s. So you're, you know, you're talking about substantial size houses.
These are your Belmont, Candlewood style houses.
That's right. So you know, we do have some nice range in prices. Let's talk about Four Seasons because they've got several different subdivisions going on.
And they tend to build rather fairly nice houses.
They do.
They don't tend to build starter houses.
No, they don't. So Asheboro West, which is off of Hunter Hill, they have currently right now 1 unit listed, and it's starting in the 260s. Okay. The landing at Coopersfield, which is off of Old Carriage, it's they've got 1 there that's listed for 270.
And these are spec houses because they normally don't build a lot of spec houses.
No, they don't.
For Four Seasons to start building spec,
and
they have an expectation.
That's right. And I think why you're seeing only 1 is because once this one is sold, then they'll start move on to the next one. Yeah. Waterstone, which is down off of Bend of the River. Yep. They have 1 unit down there, and these start in the 300s.
Wow.
So those are going to be some nice size houses.
But I want to point out, I mean, Four Seasons like Holland and some of the other builders, they're not known for doing a lot of spec. They will do 1 or 2, but they're really not known for, they're more custom builders.
That's right.
And so for them to be making that bet on our economy is a strong indicator.
That's right.
When real estate and developers start making these kind of bets on, I'm going to put 65 houses online without a guaranteed buyer, that's a lot of promise and positive energy in our community.
Well, let me talk about part of that. We actually have 3 active contingents in this 65 listings. Right. They're in Baywood, which is also a Four Seasons subdivision. Yep. All 3 of those units are under contract, contingent, but they do have some contingencies. They were starting in the 250s. So they have all 3 of those under contract.
Wow. So they came on and went off already.
Yes. Then let's skip to Birchwood. There's 2 units.
This is Birchwood and Rocky Mount.
No.
In Nashville.
In Nashville, okay. Birchwood, in the country club area. Because
there is a Birchwood and Rocky Mount. So
yes, but no, this is in Nashville. There are 2 units. They're starting in the 150s.
Those are the ones right on the golf course.
Right.
Right on the edge that were sold off. Okay.
Right.
Yep. So if you know where North Clarendon ends, it's right there at that intersection.
Right. Poplar Ridge, which is also in the county area. Right. There's 1 unit out there. It's starting in the 120s. Okay. Some of these builders, Williams and Holland and some of those are the ones you're going to see out here. This is a name we hadn't seen in a while, Jane Manning. He is out in Liberty Acres. Yep. He has a unit out there. It's starting in the 160s.
I know Jay.
You know Jay. Okay. Oak Level Crossing, there's a couple of units there.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the 180s.
Now that neighborhood has a lot of potential. That's right down the street from me, right off Oak Level Road, and that area, there's a lot of undeveloped roadway. So I mean, they're expecting to expand it over the years, but it's also a very attractive community. So nice houses over there.
Then Womble Farms.
Oh yeah, Womble.
North of Nashville. There's one unit out there. Again, those are starting in the 230s. So right now, from what we're seeing from those 65 units we've talked about, our average list price is $185.
Wow. So that again, it's on the high end of what's in that desirable range.
Right.
But I think these are some pretty good bets in terms of what these developers are making. Certainly, there's some ones in the 120s. So there's some certainly affordable housing out there for first time or somebody looking for maybe even the downsize. But for those with growing families and establishing roots in our community, there's a lot of strong houses getting ready to come online.
Right. And economic impact, we kind of touched on that last, but the total volume here is 12 million.
In new build.
In new build.
Not including what's not even listed yet.
That's right.
So is it fair to say there's at least probably 20 or 25 on the line?
Oh, I'm sure there is, yeah.
And where was this 2 years ago?
Not here.
Again, great information, Kathy. This sets up a lot of good news for our community. I do wish there was more going into Edgecombe County.
Yes.
I'm sure you wish there was more going into Edgecombe County.
We do. And, I love where we see the numbers, but I would like to see, more in that affordable range that our first-time home buyers are coming in.
Yeah, the teens up to the 50s in that range.
Yeah, or even coming down, in those in the 80s to 120s,
and you only got
somewhere in
a few of those coming on. Those are those slab houses over there near Autumn Ridge and that kind of stuff.
That's right. So, would love to see a few more of those because, our first-time home buyers are not finding what they would like to, they'd like new construction too, so,
Well, Kathy, we appreciate you coming online. So I'm sure you wouldn't mind representing any of these houses to somebody who's looking to purchase one or to sell one of their own. How can they reach you if they have questions?
As always, you can give me a call at 252-266-4038.
Well, Kathy, you always bring us good information, and we really appreciate you coming on and helping us out with this kind of stuff. I'm so excited for our community with all this kind of activity. This is great news, and just shows that we are a city on the rise.
That's right.
All right. Well, we'll be right back after these messages. We're going to have our next special guest, Rick Horner, come on after the weather. General Assembly State Senator Rick Horner is going to be in here, and we're going to talk about his new position and how it affects education for all of North Carolina. We'll be right back.